Hello everybody and welcome to the Escape Velocity 12-hour stream. My name is Chris Jarvis. I'm hoping that you can all see and hear me. If you can't see and hear me, do let me know in the Twitch chat, and I'll make sure that I fix that. It should be working though. OBS is giving me good signs. I've got little dials going up and down. And so thank you for joining me. Should be good. I've had a bit of a panic this morning because I sort of promised that we'd be doing script auctions throughout the course of the day, and what I discovered I'd done is the worst thing you can possibly do with anything of personal importance to you. I put it somewhere safe, and I put it somewhere so safe that I had absolutely no idea where they were. But thankfully, my wife is, by her own admission, the best wife in the world, and she has managed to find them, so that's good. Because actually the scripts for Escape Velocity Season 2, which is the ones that I've sort of still got, predate the building of the studio that you can see behind me. Someone's saying switch the alarm off. What does that mean? Is that me? I don't know. So yeah, if you guys can't hear me, or if there's any problems with the sound, do let me know and I'll fix it. So yeah, the first 3 episodes of Season 2 of Escape Velocity predate the building of this studio. So I had absolutely no idea where they were. And thankfully my wife found them. And they were actually in a cardboard box that a DVD player once came in. So who knows why I thought that was a safe place. But I'd like to welcome my guest. I'm sort of indicating here with my hand. He's not actually sitting here. He's joining me via Skype. We have Zach Antonacci from Frontier Developments. Hello, Zach.
Hey, everyone. How's it going?
Did I get your name right?
Yes, actually. Very good.
So thanks for joining us on this, and thank you for all your help. I should do a big shout out to Zach's help in kind of helping Escape Velocity to come back up to this point, because many of you that I talk to know that it's been quite a long road with sort of trying to figure out what we can do with Escape Velocity and what we can't do with Escape Velocity and how to sort of support it and move on with it, and Zach has been hugely helpful in making that happen, so big thank you to Zach for that. And seeing as I've got Zach on the show, it's a great opportunity to talk about some of the latest stuff that Frontier are doing. Now, Zach, the kind of development videos that have been coming out and the live streams and sneak peeks from David Braben's own account have been fantastic for Horizons in terms of showing us what's coming up. Have you had good reaction to those?
Yeah, no, absolutely. We've had a really fantastic reaction actually in terms of the last. Oh, it's been going on for the last, maybe 6 weeks? No, 4 weeks? 4 weeks. But yeah, no, really great. I think the stuff that we're kind of showing in those videos, I think that they're, even David, in terms of the Q&A that we did, he kind of mentioned that he had to take a couple of them just to get the feeling just right. But it was it's what's really great about it is it's showing all the different elements that you can do when you're down there and filling people with kind of that imagination of being able to go out there and actually see the attack on the base, or being able to see what it's like when you go up and you're onto the station, etc., and all the different elements and the Misty Planet and everything else that's going on. So yeah, really good.
Okay, awesome. So there was the video that came out from David's account on Friday. I'm going to see if I can find it for people just in case they haven't seen it.
Misty one.
The Misty one. Yeah, now I was going to ask about this because obviously the thing we know about Horizons is that all the planetary landing is going to be on airless rocky worlds. So I guess my question was kind of about if this is the case, then what is this mist that we can see in the background?
You're gonna hit me with a science question, right?
No, well, yeah, it's not really meant to be a science question, but I thought one of the whole things with obviously doing Rocky Worlds was because the whole atmosphere was coming later, but the presence of sort of, it's not. Someone pointed out to me it's not an atmosphere because the word sphere implies it wraps around the whole rock, but there obviously is some sort of environmental gas in this location.
And I mean the one thing I would say is that when you chat to David, you do really get a very clear understanding. I'm sure everyone knows that he is very, very focused on making sure that the science and everything else is very, very real in those areas. So the one thing that he does kind of, I mean, I am definitely not clever enough to be able to describe the reasons why that thing has occurred. Certainly you can see that it is just within that crater in that element, and I think there's another kind of crater somewhere else as well. But if you read the description on his text, I know he has kind of mentioned a little bit about how the phenomena has occurred, but I'm honestly not scientific enough to be able to give you a good answer other than woo, missed.
That's cool. Yeah, I can actually see, watching on the video now, I can see another impact crater on the other side of the planet that obviously has some sort of surface shimmer in it. I mean, is that a clue? I mean, again, I'm sort of asking you about stuff maybe you don't know here, but is that a clue as to, because they've been sort of teasing at what some of the specific gameplay elements around what you can recover from planet surfaces are. So does that mean that there's going to be, that these gases are going to indicate that there's something valuable that can be kind of, that can be extracted from those sites? Or
I think, what can I say here? I think that I don't necessarily know if necessarily the gases, etc., are going to. Oh, we're playing something else. I don't know necessarily if the gases themselves are going to indicate that, but certainly, there has been throughout the kind of the series of live streams, they've been talking about the different stuff that you can do, and also in things like Mike Brooks's dev update, he's kind of been talking about there are things that don't necessarily fit nicely into any of those things, whether it be point of interest or whether it be a settlement and a base or whether it be something else. So there are still a few more things to come. I mean, we've shown quite a lot, but there's still some more things to come, and I think might be seeing those maybe next week.
Okay,
maybe.
Excellent. We'll look forward to that.
Maybe. Don't hold me to it.
There was a thing that occurred to me watching the other video. This is going to send me searching again. Looking at the driving around the spaceports. Now, this probably gives away.
That's what I was stumbling over my words with. Yes.
Okay, yeah. It's all that. So let me just let's bring up the Frontier channel here, so I have the videos to hand. The spaceports. The spaceports were interesting because obviously we knew there were going to be settlements on the planet's surface. And we knew that being able to land kind of anywhere on the planet was going to be a thing that was going to be possible. The thing that occurred to me is, if you've got like a designated landing site, like a spaceport, but you can land anywhere, because in the video it shows them landing sort of 300 or 400 feet from the edge of the starport. It just occurred to me that wouldn't the starport want to kind of drive people to land with them rather than sort of camping wild? And how are the starports doing that? Is it just through the fact that there's refueling and missions, or is there going to be kind of parking fines for parking within a certain range of the starport? Do you know what I mean? Because there must as well be some sort of air traffic control in place if you've got lots of ships coming and going from a starport. Is that a thing?
Yeah. So I don't think parking tickets are a thing. I'm going to go out on a limb here. I don't know for definite. I could ring Mike now, but I'm pretty sure parking tickets isn't a thing. But yeah, I mean, there's stuff going on at the starports, like you said, like missions and refueling and everything else. So there are reasons to go there. But I think the whole point of planetary landings, as it is, certainly. Don't forget that there is potential for it that Horizons is the whole series, but we're starting with these rocky worlds. But yeah, you can land. I think the idea is that you should be able to land anywhere. Obviously, there's I think one of the streams, Adam's one, highlighted the GUI in terms of how you can see whether you're able to land, etc. But I don't think there is anything necessarily that's penalises you for going somewhere else, is my understanding. But again, it's probably much better to ask that question of a developer. So anything I say today means nothing, everyone.
Yeah, so it's a shame though about the parking tickets, because obviously a good little submission would be to go and hunt down, say, 3 or 4 traffic wardens for a reward or something. Yeah, local warlord unhappy about parking fines. Wants you to kill any kind of local civil servants you can find.
Amazing. Or flip reverse and be on some sort of very dictator led, very authoritarian area, and you have to, people have been landing, and you have to go. You have to go and dispense justice. Maybe, I don't know. No, I don't think that's coming.
So can you? So again, this might be a developer question. Or it might be something you guys aren't ready to release yet. So if you've landed somewhere and you've driven around and you've come across a starport in your SRV, can you drive onto the starport and pick up missions, or do you have to land on the starport with your ship in order to pick those up?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I know you can obviously definitely drive on because David's video showed driving onto it, but I don't know whether you can pick up missions in your SRV.
Okay. No, just didn't know if there was a sort of interface terminal that you could drive up to and. Okay.
not me being aloof. That's for sure.
Oh, thank you very much. Another supporter on Patreon. Thank you very much, Lindsay Gray. So I will come on to this because I haven't actually introduced. Oh, that's the wrong stream. Hang on. I should just clarify, it is not David Braben and Ed Lewis today. If you've just joined us, I'm Chris Jarvis. Yeah, producer, writer of Escape Velocity, and I'm joined by Zach Antonacci from Frontier Developments. What's that?
I was just looking at the screen with the David and Ed. I was like, which one am I? Which one are you?
So, yeah. So to introduce a little bit more of what we're talking about today. So today is about getting Escape Velocity reproduced, and obviously because time and family commitments, and also actors, there are all kinds of expenses that come into it. So I have a Patreon campaign set up now to get Escape Velocity funded. Some eagle-eyed people have already found the Patreon page and backed it, and as you can see, I'm experimenting today with a Twitch pop-up, which should theoretically, when people go and support the Patreon, it should pop up on screen, because I'm reliably informed that this is something that people really like on streams. And unfortunately, Patreon's a little bit wobbly when it comes to supporting these kind of notifiers, but I found one that does seem to sort of work, and every now and again I do see it appear. So hopefully that works if you do it. If you do support the Patreon and it doesn't cause a pop-up on screen, I'm really sorry. I don't know how this thing works. I know that it polls every 2 minutes. But anyway, so going on to the Patreon. So basically, the way Patreon works, just in case people haven't come across it, Patreon is a way of supporting content creators, and there are two ways to do it. And I'll just explain a little bit about why I've chosen to do it the way I've done it. With Kickstarter, you kind of back a project and you pledge a certain amount, and once the project gets to that target, you take people's money, and that's the seed money for the whole project. It's not really a very good fit for Escape Velocity, because one of the things I've wanted to do with Escape Velocity is to make it ongoing. And Kickstarter's not a very good model for that, because we don't have a commercial license to produce Escape Velocity from Frontier at the moment. And obviously, if we did a Kickstarter, once that production money runs out, I kind of has to stop again, and then potentially go out for another Kickstarter to keep producing it. So the thing about Patreon is that you can support content providers per something. Now, a lot of people on Patreon just do monthly things. I'm not doing that for the specific reason that what I quite like to do with Escape Velocity is to make the episodes a fortnightly release. So doing a monthly target kind of doesn't make sense. So the thing to really be very clear on when you guys hopefully go and support Escape Velocity on the Patreon is that what you are doing is you are pledging an amount per episode. Now, it's perfectly fine for people to come and go. You can support it for a while. You can then decide to stop supporting it. There are a whole load of different backer levels. If I just go to the main monitor, there's a whole load of different backer levels here for different kinds of rewards. And there are some down here that are just ludicrous. I've kind of put them in because from when I did the Kickstarter for Chaos Reborn, a lot of people came back to me and said, "Dude, you need some higher pledge levels." But I should point out that there's someone here very kindly has already pledged $50. Now, I'm really hoping that person, after they've kind of had their reward for one episode, I'm hoping that they'll kind of come back and change their pledge back to a kind of lower one. And that's not a stupid thing of me saying that I don't want people to pledge escape velocity at a high level. I do. It's just I personally feel that pledging $50 for every episode that I release is an awful lot of money, and you're probably not going to experience a lot of value out of that. So do think about that when you're putting your pledge levels in. This is on a per episode basis, and the way that Patreon works is that each time I release something, everyone gets kind of charged at month end for that thing. Now I'm assuming, because I want to do escape velocity every fortnight, that if I then release 2 episodes, that you actually get charged twice at the end of a month. So that's something I'm going to be looking at, kind of really carefully. The other thing to bear in mind is I'm currently, there's one particular pledge in there that might have to change. It might not have to change. I'm going to be talking to Frontier about that through Zach over the next couple of days, just to clarify. Yeah, so it's currently there. I might have to change it. I'll be very upfront with everybody who's backed it if that does need to change. And obviously there are lots of ways through Patreon that I can communicate with you guys without charging you. The other thing that I'd like to talk to you guys about through updates, it would really help me if I could kind of, once we hit our target, which is $350 to kind of start it, it would really help me if I could kind of always be 1 episode ahead. So if I could kind of charge people up front at the point where I get the actors in, and then we can kind of go on to doing the charges per episode. The reason for that is partly because some of the pledge levels sort of include content from you guys in the episode. So I really sort of need to be one ahead before I can really do that. Thank you very much, Sparrow Black. That's just popped up on my Patreon. So this plugin seems to be working well. So this is good. So we're actually at $164 already, which is fantastic. Basically, just going through the milestones quickly. If we get to $350 pledged per episode, that's basically how much it costs to make an episode of Escape Velocity. So you'll notice that with some of the pledge rewards, I haven't got any physical rewards in there at the moment. That's because there is no leeway within that budget to produce or post physical rewards. It actually goes up quite a lot once we start doing that. I really want to do it because I love USB keys and I love CDs, and I really want to be able to produce them and send them out to people. But $350 per episode, that there's no kind of leeway in that. Once we get up to $450, basically the physical rewards, when I budgeted it, it's looking at like $540 per episode to start sending out people USB sticks, and that's going to be for backers. Basically every 6 episodes I'm going to create a USB card with that kind of short series run on, and we'll send that out to people. But that's when we get to $540 per episode, and I'll introduce pledge tiers that kind of cover that. So there's one in between, because I wanted to have something that was kind of new, somewhere between the $350 and $540. So at $450, I'm going to start doing behind the scenes recordings of making the show. So this will be a mixture of things like videos taken during recording with the actors, and it'll also be things like Twitch streams or YouTube videos, kind of capturing the process of editing an episode together. So that's that. So that's partly why we're here today, and we're partly here just to celebrate Escape Velocity and talk about all kinds of things that are in the episode. Oh, thank you, Sean Schofield. Another thing has popped up there. That's fantastic. That's taken us to $204. That's brilliant. So we're going to be doing lots of stuff today to be excited about Escape Velocity. I'm going to be taking you guys, starting from 1 o'clock GMT, on a tour of the locations in Escape Velocity, and I'll come on to that when we start it. I should put someone's mentioned in Twitch, it's Ben, thank you very much, Ben. There is a podcast called Escape Velocity, which is a science podcast. Don't go to that one. If you've accidentally backed, well, not that these guys don't deserve your support as well, I'm sure their podcast is fantastic, but that's not me. I should probably give out the thing here, so you can see on this Twitch stream. The URL for me is patreon.com/radio theatre workshop. If someone could post that, in fact I'll do it. I'll stick that in the Twitch chat there. Unfortunately, it's probably not on the Lave Radio Twitch page itself. But if you go to escapevelocity.laveradio.com, there are links on that page to my Escape Velocity Patreon. So do be really careful when you're backing it. The page you're going to on Patreon should be covered in, well, not covered, but it should have Elite Dangerous logos on it. It should have my name on it, Christopher Jarvis, and it should be hopefully very clear. So, because there is also a Chris Jarvis on Patreon, and I don't know what he does, so don't do that. So going back to Zach, because I've got Zach Antonacci with me from Frontier Developments.
Hello.
Hello, and we are talking about the kind of latest that Zach can talk about in terms of Elite Horizons.
Which isn't very much, by the way. This is evident, every question. I don't know.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's, some of the things that I've been kind of speculating about, because I obviously appreciate that there are... Oh, thank you very much. Another patron has come